Hi, I'm Lesley Logan. I'm here at my Pilates Haven. This is where I film all my weekly mat classes, and I am doing another collaboration with Andrea Maida Pilates, and we are taking on the Swans. And I have to say that after filming some of the Swans we're doing on the window chair, I am very excited to do and practice my Swan on the mat. I think that this is an essential Swan for all the Swans that are going to happen, because Swans are hard. You're against gravity, so your guts just want to hang out. Like, let's just call it what it is. So I am lucky enough to have handles to use for my Swan, but I'll also show you how to do the Swan without anything if you're just at home or in your office and you want to work on your Swan. One of the things that I think is really important, if you've ever watched any of my Swan videos, is that Swan is not about you going head to feet. It's not like, it really isn't your up dog in yoga. It's not your, I'm blanking on the name, but the smaller one in yoga where you just lift the chest. Because while there are some similarities, I think it's really important to discover how much we use the inner thighs and the stomach to lengthen our lower back more, and we really want the chest to open up from the upper back, and we're not letting our ribs come out, right? We're keeping everything pretty contained because we don't hold the pose. So this is a moving thing, and that's why you can have all of these things together. So they are similar, but they're not the same. Swan on the mat, if you don't have these handles, you can just be here with your hands near your shoulders. Ideally, legs are together. If you're learning this for the first time, or if you're struggling with any back stuff, one of the things I love to do is I love to spin my inner thighs up and then hug together. It feels a little pigeon-toed, but I find that if you are someone who grips in your lower back already, it really does give your lower back permission to get wide, which will allow you to get long. Okay, if you turn out and you squeeze your heels together and you have a tendency to grip in your lower back or in your SI, it's not going to be fun, it's not going to be pleasant, you're not going to be able to really rock. So when you go to come up for your Swan here, you're just going to simply pull your heart forward, reach your legs down and away. So my legs are super active, they're actually pushing down and away from me to get longer this way, and then I'm going to come back down. So I do a couple preps, right? I like to think about for me, I have to think about my hip points lifting. That's not a typical thing for everybody, but for me, it helps me keep my lower belly connected. So when I come up, I'm not leaving it on the floor behind, right? And so when you go to actually dive, you send your arms wide to the side and you can rock. And I like to kind of think about rocking on the front of my hips. You will see people rock, maybe even Andrea can do it, where their legs come way up here and then their chest gets way up there. And some days I can do it and some days I can't. In the beginning, I like arms wide because you get to connect to your back, but you can also reach your arms forward, right? So if we were to do the exact same thing and reach the arms forward, you would just get long this way. And I try to keep the rocking to go over the front of my hips so that I get a little locked up in the lower back or I start to bend my knees if I start to rock only on the front of my stomach. So I like to take it all the way down there, and for whatever reason, that imagery makes me keep my legs long and keep my Swan long. Now if you've got these handy handles, then you can place your hands on them and you can reach down and into them to get longer. And what's nice is because of the width, it's easier for me to connect to my back. So same thing whether you have the handles or not, you do the dive. But what you want to be sure is these arms are not accessories, right? They're part of the party. And so when you take your arms out to the side, you really want to feel them connected to your back, because then as they lift, they help lift your back into that long extension. If they're coming like this and they're not connected to you, you can see your chest is just going to fall and it's going to make your Swan dive, really uncomfortable. So Swan a little or Swan a lot, but definitely check out what you are leaving behind as you go to come up. Are you pushing your stomach down to come up? Are you pushing your knees down to come up? Are you locking your knees to come up? All those things are going to be telltale signs later on when you actually start to make the movement bigger. So start small, just start lifting and lowering down and lifting and lowering down, and think, how long can I get? So welcome to Swan. Our whole Swan series starts today. We have several weeks in a row of Swans for you here on the mat, and then we are going to move on to the wounded chair, and it's going to get really fun, and you're going to start to see all the things that I myself have to work on a lot when it comes to my Swans. So I can't wait to hear how it works out for you, and be sure to check out Andrea Maida Pilates here on YouTube to see how it's working out for her. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe below for more videos from me.